Okay, we've got question number 3 here now. Question 3 is, cash at bank ledger for Zac Enterprises shows a balance of $22,569 on the 30th of September 2014. The bank ledger balance has been calculated before the receipt of the bank statement. The bank statement for the month of September shows a different balance at $76,980. A comparison of Zac Enterprises' cash at bank account with the bank statement identified the following information. And we've been given a list of information here. It says, prepare a bank reconciliation statement for the 30th of September 2014. Now, one of the things you need to do in preparing a bank's reconciliation statement is, do I need to either adjust my ledger or do I need to carry an item as a reconciling item? So that's what we're looking at. So all these items here will either be adjustments or they'll be reconciling items. Okay, and your job is to distinguish between the two. Is it reconciling or is it adjusting? So let's do that. The bank statement showed a dishonoured cheque of $1,625 that was received by the customers of Zac Enterprises. Is that a reconciling item or an adjusting item? 50-50 bet here, guys. Adjusting. Alright, the bank accidentally credited an amount of $55,000 in the bank statement. It was later confirmed that the deposit does not belong to Zac Enterprises. Reconciling or adjusting? Now when I'm adjusting my ledger account. So let's just do a little bit here because we've got our cash at bank. And it's already told me that I've got $22,569 in my bank account before I receive my bank statement. So I've got a balance. Now, so the bank accidentally credited an amount of $55,000 in the bank statement. It was later confirmed that the deposit does not belong to Zac Enterprise. Now, is that a reconciling item or do I need to adjust my bank balance? Reconciling. This means I don't have to change my bank balance. It's just an item that's going to be the difference between here and here. What about cheque number 138 was incorrectly written and subsequently paid by the bank for $209,000. The cash payment journal reflects the entry of $138 as a debit to the accounts payable, and it was for $290. Do I need to make an adjustment to my bank account? Yes, there's an adjusting entry there. The collection of note amounting to $1,500 only appeared in the bank statement. This does not appear in the accounting records. Reconciling or adjusting? I heard someone mumble it. Adjusting. What it means is I haven't yet put that through this figure, so I have to change my figure. The bank statement included a credit for $500 for interest earned by Zac Enterprises, which is not included in the bank account. Do I need to adjust this figure? Adjusting entry again. Cheques issued by Zac Enterprises not yet presented to the bank total $5,000. Reconciling or adjusting? Reconciling. We've already put this amount through this figure. It just hasn't appeared in our bank statement yet, so it'll mean there'll be a difference between here and here. Alright, transaction charges by the bank amounting to $220 appeared in the bank statement only. Adjusting or reconciling?
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah?
There's a simple way of determining whether it's adjusting or reconciling.
Yep, there is a simple way of determining whether it's adjusting or reconciling. If it is appearing in the bank account, and we believe like our charges need to be like this item here, transaction charges by the bank. Now, we need to adjust this figure for these bank charges because they're legitimate expenses. They're an item that belongs to us. So that means I'm going to have to adjust my bank account. So I'm going to have to adjust this figure. Basically what it is you've got to look at this and say, is this an item that I need to pass through my bank account? Right? If yes, it's adjusting. If no, it's a reconciling. So just if we look at this previously, it says cheques issued by Zach Enterprises, but not yet presented to the bank. So this means that I've put 5,000 through here that hasn't actually got into the bank account yet. So that means I'm going to have a difference between my ledger account and my bank statement. Is it a legitimate one? Yeah. Any difference that I have between those two is a reconciling. Anything else should be an adjusting entry. So, now, I'll pose this question here. Outstanding deposits amounted to 5,825. Is that a reconciling item or is that an adjusting entry?
What's that adjusting?
No.
There you go.
Alright, that's a reconciling item because I've deposited this money, so I've already put it through here. It just hasn't appeared in my bank statement yet. So when they say outstanding deposit, it just means it hasn't appeared in the bank statement. So that becomes a reconciling item. So what you need to learn is it adjusting or is it reconciling? If you can get that right, you can get 100% on this question. Simple. It's not too hard. Don't ever say that. It's easy. That's better. Alright, so let's now go. Let's make the adjustments to my bank account. Alright, so Zach's statement showed a dishonoured cheque of $16.25 that had been received by a customer. So that means that I've got a dishonoured cheque, so I've put an amount in here that I now need to take out. So dishonoured cheque means a customer has bounced a cheque on me. So I'm now going to reduce my bank balance. And that takes care of that item. This cheque number here, 138, was incorrectly written and paid for $209. The difference between here is $81. Now, I've paid this, so this has been paid by me, so it's one of Zach Enterprises cheques, and we have allocated the amount for it. So I've got to take another $81 out of the bank. Cheque error. So $81. What have I got? The collection of a note appeared on the bank statement. This does not even appear in an accounting record. So there it's telling me I need to put this in my accounting records for 1,500 note. And I know it's going to increase because it's a receivable. So hang on, I've adjusted that one. I've adjusted this one. The bank statement includes a credit for $500 for interest earned. So interest earned is going to increase my bank account. For $500, so it takes care of that one. And then we've got this one here where it says bank charges of $220 appeared on the bank statement only. So bank charges, that's going to reduce my bank balance for $220. And that takes care of all my adjustings. So I've got 1, 2, 3 reconciling items, but first thing I need to do is to total off my account to work out what my bank balance is that I'm reconciling to. So what have I got here? Let's go. Calculator. 22,569 plus 81 plus 1,500 plus 500. 24,650. So I've got 24,650 on that side. I need to deduct this to find out what my closing balance is. So let's just deduct the other side. 1,625 minus 220 equals 22,805 to close with 24,650. So I've got 24,650. So this is my balance. So that's what I'm reconciling to. So now let's prepare my bank reconciliation. For the month ended 30th September 2014. Now, I always open with my balance as per my bank statement. And the balance is 76,980. The bank accidentally credited an amount of 55,000 in the bank statement, so bank error. Now, if the bank credits something, that means they've increased my bank balance. So now I'm just going to have to reduce that by, actually I'll do it over here, 55. And so that's my first reconciling item. My unpresented checks, we take our unpresented checks off. My unpresented checks was 5,000. So that's those two. So that's 60,000, which will leave me with 16,980. And then I add back in deposits not credited. My deposits not credited were 5,825. So I've got, what have I got? 05, 8, 22. And I can see that my closing balance, or balance as per my ledger accounts, are the same. I got my unpresented checks from down here. So this reconciling item, third last item, checks issued by Zach Enterprise not yet presented to the bank, total $5,000. Oops.